Their anger was a fragile shield, hiding the soft ache of loss. The morning fight was a war fought in whispers of love and pain. They argued not to win, but to keep your love from slipping away. Their fight was a broken prayer for a love that refuses to die. They shouted your name to drown out the silence that terrified them most. Love's chaos was written in their fight, raw and unfiltered. They fought her because you were their last, fading hope. Their anger was a desperate dance, choreographed by love and fear. They argued for you, even when silence screamed louder than words. The morning battle was a sacred ritual of love's fierce refusal to fade. They screamed your name because losing you felt like losing their soul. Their fight was a brutal confession of a love too broken to hide. They battled with her because loving you was their most dangerous truth. If this touched your soul, don't scroll, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. They fought at dawn, a war between hope and the fear of goodbye. Their argument was love's last cry before the quiet heartbreak. They screamed your name, hoping the universe would hear their desperate plea. The fight was a storm where love was the thunder and fear the lightning. Their battle was a fragile hope wrapped in fierce devotion. They argued because loving you made them both brave and broken. Their fight was a silent scream, echoing through the corridors of their soul. They screamed for you even when the world told them to be silent. Their anger was love's wild pulse, beating fiercely in the morning light. They fought her with a heart full of love and trembling hands. The morning fight was love's harshest language, raw and unfiltered. They screamed your name to hold on to a love slipping through fingers. Their argument was a desperate prayer, begging love to stay awake. They battled because loving you was their most dangerous truth. The fight was a brutal confession of a heart too broken to hide. They fought at dawn between hope and the fear of goodbye. Their anger was love's wild pulse, beating fiercely in the morning light. They screamed your name, hoping the universe would hear their plea. The fight was a storm where love was thunder and fear lightning. They battled with her because loving you was both curse and salvation. Their fight was love's echo in a canyon of unspoken regrets. They battled her because your absence shattered their fragile peace. Every shouted word hid a desperate hope you'd still listen. Their anger burned, but beneath it, love whispered fragile promises. They screamed your name to fight the loneliness that swallowed them whole. The morning fight was a war between love's light and shadow. They fought her because losing you was losing their very breath. Their heart broke in silence while their voice raged in chaos. They argued with her to keep alive a love fading fast. Their fight was a prayer disguised as pain and fury. They screamed for you in a language only broken hearts understand. The battle wasn't over you, it was over the fear of being forgotten. They fought fiercely, holding on to memories like lifelines in a storm. Their anger was the last flicker of a love refusing to die. The morning argument was a wound bleeding with unspoken love. They screamed your name, hoping it would mend their fractured soul. Their fight was a mirror reflecting love's wild, beautiful chaos. They battled her because love's silence was too loud to bear. Their heart cried out beneath the fury, yearning for your presence. They argued for you, but fought with their own shadowed fears. The fight was love's desperate attempt to rewrite a fading story. They screamed to drown the emptiness you left in their chest. Their anger was love's wild, trembling pulse beneath the surface. The morning fight was a battle of love's fierce vulnerability. They fought her with words sharp as heartbreak and soft as hope. Their soul screamed your name in the chaos of the morning fight. The argument was a storm where love's light fought to survive. They battled her to protect the fragile thread connecting your hearts. Their anger was love's raw, unguarded truth bursting free. They screamed your name because losing you was losing themselves. The fight was love's wild dance between fear and longing. They argued for you even when silence was easier to bear. Their battle was a desperate plea for a love slipping away. They fought her because love's silence was unbearable to their soul. Their heart broke in the noise, whispering your name over and over. They screamed your name to hold on to a fading dream. The morning fight was a chaotic prayer to keep love alive. They argued with her, but their soul was fighting for you alone. Their anger was love's fierce fire, burning bright in the dawn. They battled her to keep the memory of you alive inside. My dear, they screamed your name in anger, but tears whispered how much they feared losing you. They fought at dawn, your shadow haunting every word like a ghost refusing to leave. Your name became their battlefield, and silence the weapon they couldn't control. In their rage, they revealed the cracks only love could fracture so deeply. The fight wasn't about you. It was their soul breaking under love's unbearable weight. You were the storm inside their quiet rebellion, tearing at fragile peace. They argued with her, but their heart was screaming your name in every breath. When love fights fiercely, it's because it's terrified of becoming a stranger. They carried you into the battle, hoping to protect a love they don't know how to save. Love's war scars show in fights, born from fear, not hate. Their fight with her was a broken prayer, whispered desperately for you to stay. They tore down walls in anger, but it was their own heart that crumbled first. The morning fight was a dance of chaos where your name was the music. They fought not because they wanted to lose, but because they couldn't hold on quietly. Behind every loud argument is a soul begging to be understood, not abandoned. They fought her to prove to themselves they still belonged to you. The battle wasn't over loyalty, but over the fragile hope you might still care. Your absence filled the room louder than their angry words. They shouted for you, even when their voice cracked under the weight of fear. Their fight was a love letter written in shattered glass and bleeding silence. Every argument hides a silent scream. Don't leave me, even if I don't deserve you. Their fight with her is the reflection of a heart too afraid to break again. They fought for a love slipping through fingers like smoke at dawn. The morning was heavy with words that were never meant to hurt you directly. They threw punches with words, but their eyes cried for a softer truth. The fight was a battlefield where love was the only casualty no one mentioned. Behind every fight is a soul trembling, terrified of losing what it can't keep. They argued with her because they didn't know how to argue with themselves. Your name was their last weapon, wielded with trembling hands and desperate heartbeats. Their anger was a mask for a heart that still beats wildly for you. They fought with her because silence around you was breaking their soul. Your memory clashed in their mind louder than any shouted accusation. The fight wasn't a game. It was a desperate prayer to the universe to hold on. They screamed your name in the chaos because love's silence was unbearable. The morning argument was the echo of love's fierce, desperate fight for survival. They fought to hide how broken they felt without you in their world. The battle was a mirror, reflecting all the love and pain tangled inside. They fought her with your name because losing you felt like losing themselves. The fight was their confession. They still belonged to you, no matter the cost. Their words cut deep, but deeper still was the fear of losing you forever. They argued for you, with a trembling soul that refuses to let go. Your absence was the wound their fight could never heal. They shouted your name to hold the pieces of a love falling apart. Love fights ugly because it's terrified it won't survive the silence. Their fight was a violent love letter, unread and misunderstood by all but you. They battled her with their heart on fire, screaming silently for your return. The argument was the storm before the quiet heartbreak that follows. They fought fiercely because love is never quiet when it's afraid to lose. Their rage was love's last breath, desperate and raw in the morning light. Behind every fight, love's fragile thread trembles but refuses to break. They fought her because loving you became their most dangerous secret. The argument was a painful dance, choreographed by fear and fierce devotion. They screamed for you, even when the world told them to be silent. Their fight was a broken melody, echoing the love they couldn't stop wanting. They argued with her to keep the echo of your name alive in their soul. The morning fight was a silent cry, a plea for love to stay awake. They fought because loving you became both their curse and their salvation. Their anger was love's desperate armor, protecting a heart too fragile to expose. They battled with her because losing you felt like losing themselves. The fight was a cruel reminder of how fiercely love can wound. Their love screamed in chaos, desperate to be heard above the silence. They argued with her to keep the ghost of you from fading. The fight wasn't hate, it was love's wild, wounded roar for survival. They fought for you in a language only their heart could understand. Their words were weapons, but their soul was the true battlefield. They screamed your name to fight the emptiness you left behind.